And the comeback that Ian Alley staged against Cousins was ridiculous. At 6-3 down, he was dead and buried. Pulled out some brilliant finishing, and then the breaking dish at the end, just with about, I think it was 7 or 8 seconds left on the clock when he got over the line. Thompson, that match was a complete contrast. Carl Sutton, I don't think you'll ever have a day at the office like it. Dry breaks, in off the break. But Thompson was sublime. He didn't miss anything. That was a bit of more of a one-way affair. But this is going to be very intriguing indeed.
Shane Thompson really looks to be back to that kind of form that was seeing him win multiple Pro Series titles a couple of years ago, as now he catches the wrong ball on his way through there. Open table, so that's not a foul, but not the start he wanted. Shane is just such a smooth cueist when he's playing well. He's just all about the timing. And that kind of timing, you need to be in good stroke. Sometimes when you move around cue sports as he's been doing, playing Chinese 8-ball pool, it just knocks your timing off just that little bit. Just makes it a bit harder. It seems like he's really rediscovered his form this weekend.
Yeah, his positional play was phenomenal today. And just the weight of the cue ball that he had, it had on a piece of string. I say that, and he plays that shot to start the evening. But this afternoon against Carl, he was just, that's the best I've seen him play for, well, 2 years.
Very intriguing match this. Ian Alley, I'd say underrated is the right word because he's very highly rated already, but maybe hasn't achieved as much in the tournament scene as his talents would suggest he's capable of it. It feels like it's only a matter of time before he starts snapping off big professional titles.
Well, the thing with Ian Alley, the guys were talking about it just before we came on air. Well, they were on air before we came on, about how good a money player he is, and he is. He plays some big bucks. But those matches are races to 30. I mean, they're endurance battles. I remember he played one with Sean Story. I think they had a trilogy, and various other matches. But they're all, start at midday and they don't finish. I think they might have probably one break in between. They don't finish till sort of like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Well, that's not for me. I can barely get my brain when I play to concentrate for 30 seconds, never mind, a 10-hour battle. But whether that's Ian's forte is the long endurance. It's kind of a 1,500 metres runner, but, trying to get him to do a marathon. So, but we shall see. But the way he played against Tom Cousins, if he can pile it on like that, then who's to stop him?
Yeah, what a turnaround it was for Tom Cousins. One moment it looked like he was going to be through to the semi-finals of this first Pro Series event, and then he went straight back on, having lost to Ian Alley, played Vivek Mack, and dumped out of the second Pro Series event of the weekend. So in the space of an hour or two, his weekend unravelled pretty quickly.
That's what can happen. You lose one match, and then you've got to go out and play in the second event almost immediately, and your head's just not ready for it. Craig Waddingham, I mean, he went out obviously in the quarterfinals, and he had to go out and play again against Aidan Hughes, I believe. And in the end, he got over the line 8-7, and he was in trouble. And I saw him earlier, and he just said, thankfully he's got through that, and he can now settle down because he's going to take the family out for something to eat or whatever. But he's more chilled out and ready again now to start again. But it's that immediate match straight after is the killer.
And it's the same for everybody, and the players that play in a lot of the big tournaments are used to that format, as we see Ian miss. That was, I think, a little bit tighter than it perhaps looked from that camera angle, but still, notwithstanding that, a surprising miss. And a real let-off here for Shane. Slipped out of position in his first visit to the table. Invited back for a second go at it.
We've given them both a big build-up, and they've both missed one each already in the first frame. I don't feel that Shane Thompson's going to make the same mistake twice.
No, sometimes you worry you're overhyping people, but I would say with confidence I've watched a lot of both of these players, and they're both players of the absolutely top standard. Phenomenal cueists, both of them. Great understanding of the game.
So this black for Shane Thompson to take the opening frame.
Same format for the semi-final as we've seen all the way through. Race to 8. Started with 50 minutes on the match clock. 5 minutes of that used up for that first frame. 30 seconds on the shot clock, dropping to 15 for the last 10 minutes of the match if we go that far. Seen the 1-6 red shootout so far this weekend, which is the match involving Aaron Davis that we had referenced in the build-up. As we swing our way round onto one of the outside arena tables where Danielle Randall has just kicked off her semi-final against Amy Beecham. Danielle Randall, former Women's Series winner, had a baby boy recently who's here at the venue with her partner John McAllister. Both of them though back in action this weekend, and they both seem to be doing very well, so new parenthood is obviously treating them both well so far. Not treating Shane so well as that break as he finds the corner pocket.
Yeah, Shane won't be happy with that. Straight into the corner. Saw the little grimace there from Shane. Lost the cue ball. And Ian Alley very quick to get to the table. Well, you feel when you look at the table now, Mark, that if he just gets rid of this red at the top, as long as he can see the reds in the middle of the table, he can't see any way that he's going to miss his finish.
Very good snooker player, so no problem calling for the spider here. Not an instrument you see used very often on a pool table, but just ended up in an awkward spot there. No problem with that, and no problem as well. His long game is normally of the highest standard. So they potted that ball. I think it was over the pocket.
Yeah, I think there's just a slight bit of concern there just for a split second that yellow was going to come over the top of the cue ball and block Ian's path to this red at the bottom, but it hasn't. And Ian Alley now in good position. He's going to pop this into the middle, roll the cue ball through. He's just standing where he wants to be playing his next shot. And that'll be rolling the red down the table, bottom left, black in the top right, and this will be one each.
Well, that's what you want really when you get off to a 1-1 start in a match. You feel like both players are warmed up, ready to go for the match. Everyone's expecting this to be a pretty entertaining contest. Hampered a little unnecessarily there, but such a straightforward shot into the middle pocket, that's not going to pose a problem for him.
You sure? Well, I'll tell you now, it'll be asking the question, why don't you stop the white dead and play the black length of the table? Because, like you say, his long game's fantastic, and I don't think you could have missed. This is a nasty, nasty little shot.
Well, it was a bad position shot to end up there, but I did not expect him to miss that ball. What a bonus this is for Shane Thompson. This could be very significant in the context of this tournament. That miss early on, not only is it bad for the scoreboard, but it's bad from the point of view of giving his opponent some extra confidence. I think Shane's probably already feeling there's some destiny. He seems to be back to his form at exactly the right time. I'm sure he's already fancying getting through to the final and going one better. But seeing moments like that will just help to confirm it to him. Long way to go though. A race to 8, so plenty of time to make amends, and one thing that Ian is very good at is putting those kind of mistakes out of his mind. For a less experienced player, that really would be a catastrophic mistake early on in the match, because I'd say it's more important to settle down. I don't think for either of these two it's quite the same pressure. They're both very used to playing in these kind of surroundings.
Just wondering if you might take the one in the middle now, just because he came up just a little bit short. Nothing really to do now, just bring the cue ball back a couple of inches. And as I said, it was definitely going to be 1-1. I feel that it's definitely going to be 2-0, and I'm going to have. I'll have money on that now.
I'm not going to oppose you in that bet, I'm afraid.
No, well, it is a frame that Ian Alley had at his mercy and has gifted to Shane Thompson.
Yeah, that was careless, wasn't it, from Ian? May not be consequential, but it may so easily be, because at this standard you just don't get that many chances. You got to take the ones you get. Great atmosphere in the venue tonight. 700 people have been playing pool here today across the two arenas. 64 tables next door in the second arena. Absolutely incredible atmosphere. Let's have another look at this miss. Just a bit jabby, wasn't it? I mean, with those kind of shots, you don't want to be too tentative because you can miscue them, but it just seemed to put in a slightly firmer stroke than he wanted. That's behind him though. He's kind of put his effort into getting a good break off. This time his luck seems to have gone a little bit the other way around. Could so easily have gone in off, but has stayed on the playing surface. I mean, how has that not got in off? As it took the second touch on the red. Frozen in behind the red, and I'm not sure what Shane can do from this position.
No, he's not left them an awful lot. But yeah, watching that break, I was convinced the cue ball was going.
Nothing Shane could really do there, just had to play some kind of containing shot. You see a couple of containing shots played. The players jostle for sight of an opening pot.
And that was Ian Alley having a go there. He tried to play off first red and kick the cue ball and push the other red into the corner. Didn't come off, and now he's left Shane Thompson on that red at the top of the table. And he will be going.
Yeah, red's unquestionably the preference from there. That red on the right hand side cushion probably does just sneak in past the other one, in which case hasn't really got to move anything. It's just a case of negotiating his way around. This is typically what he's good at, this kind of close control. So give you a great view of his cue action. And for a shot like that, well, there wasn't much to it. You saw how far through the ball he got. It means that he gets great action on the ball without having to hit it too hard. It's been a slowish start in terms of the amount of time used up. 12 minutes down already with only 2 frames in. Match time could certainly become a factor if Ian is able to get his way into the match. Not so much so, obviously, if the match ends up one-sided. What Shane wants to do is make Ian pay for the mistake in the last frame with a 2-frame surcharge. Nicely controlled, getting the ball to the opposite centre.
Just very similar to the start that Shane Thompson made against Carl Sutton. Carl had a couple of bad breaks and just never got to the table, and it was Shane just powered along sort of gracefully through the match, and well, he won it 8-1 in the end. Carl did have a lot of bad luck off the break. We feel Ian Alley just not got going yet. Had one glaring chance.
From Ian's perspective is, where does he get the next chance from? Going to be at least 3-0 down, you would assume. Although, don't want to curse anybody else after the way it went in the first opportunity, when Ian should have got the score to 1-1. You can't imagine that kind of mistake from Shane here, though. Should for all the world be 3-0.
Not only that, we've got Shane Thompson to break next as well.
So 3-0 it is for Shane Thompson in this race to 8. He sits down in his seat, pretty happy with the way he started off. Had a toughish route to this final. Cy Fitzsimmons in his first round, 8-3. Early bail, also 8-3 victor in the last 32. Christy Caulfield, 8-5 in the last 16. And that quality quarter-final performance, 8-1 against Carl Sutton. So, 3 frames to the good. Shane Thompson breaks off in frame 4.
Well, just looking at that break, I mean, reds would have been ridiculously easy if that yellow hadn't covered that bag. But I think you've got to take yellows there.
Yeah, that one ball makes the world of difference, doesn't it?
The yellows, I mean, we've got the yellow on the cushion, you've got the one just above it, which obviously I don't think that passes clean without removing the one on the cushion first. So a tiny bit finicky, but for me, you have to take him. But he obviously fancies playing the combo shot with the red into the yellow, potting it in behind. The only other way you can go is to try and get onto the red into the left-hand centre, just be above it, cut that in and play the cue ball to come down off the side rail and then nudge it in, because it will go around the back of that red and you'll get on it.
Yeah, could play up for that in a shot or two's time.
Got a feeling he might even go now, you know. There we are. That's his plan. His plan has been revealed, Mark.
Yeah, and you know he was going to have a plan, because you can't set off on the reds there just thinking, let's see what happens. You've got to know what you're doing with that yellow.
Well, he was expecting to get a slightly thinner contact there on that ball over the bag and the cue ball to go at the table. So now I think he's presented with a tougher ball than he would have had if he'd have took yellows.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, because he's got a choice of 2 reds here, but the long straight one is kind of missable. This one's an easier pot, but he's got more to do with the white. Oh, he's played that really well, though.
How'd you like that gap?
Yeah, that's...
He's cueing very, very well. I mean, his potting's been brilliant once again. Shane Thompson.
This has been a really good clearance. Absolutely top draw stuff from Shane Thompson. In perfect control the whole way through. And right now it's one-way traffic. Ian Alley's been parked in his seat for some time since that mistake he made A chance to go 1-1, and then suddenly he finds himself 4-0 down, having barely had any impact on the match since then. That's top level pool though. Could be anyone, frankly, in that seat, the way Shane's playing at the moment. Just looks a bit more confident. There have been moments over the last season or so that he's just not quite looked like he was enjoying being out there, and it's just looked a little bit laboured. Like now it's back to looking quite easy again.
Yeah, I think Simon and Jama made a good point at the start of the show when they said that Shane has been playing in China, in America, just mixing his cue sports and disciplines. And it's okay trying to play in all these tournaments, but what you tend to find is you're going to be very good at all of them, but not dominate any. And I think Shane's probably made the right choice. Well, it's going to show with his results. Just the fact of being here in this semi-final, you know, that he's playing better. He's simply not making the mistakes he's making a year ago, which were they were unforced, weren't they, Mark?
Yeah, he just didn't look quite like the same player. There was a moment a year or two ago where you'd have trusted Shane with any clearance in the world, and then just seemed to like a few like missed timings. He wasn't like chopping balls around, but just wasn't quite as smooth as it was before. Ended last season well though. Runners up spot in the last event to Chris Melling. I'm looking one season too far back in my notes. That was the end of the 2023 season. Didn't end last season quite so well. The best he made was a quarter-final in 2024. Meanwhile, Ian Alley still struggling to find his way back into this match.
Yeah, well, he made his first pot and didn't land anywhere, and he just played a shot there. He tried to just shove that yellow ball over that bottom right-hand corner just to at least block Shane off, and he's left that short. Shane would love to be able to play this red that's sort of to the left of the black spot and cut it in the corner, and then play this red that he's going to play now down in the other corner, but he's forced to come up here. Big shot. That was a very tough one. Now Ian Alley gets a second bite of the cherry in his frame.
And this is the point, he needs to make something happen. He can't afford to slip too far behind as he just misjudges. It was a small gap, but it was a gap he was expecting to be able to get that yellow through.
I think Shane can get to the cushion just before the red over the bag up at the top. Come off there and pot that red and come round the angles. Doesn't want to hit this too thick, but here we go. He's going to play that shot. Well, they'll take that.
Yeah, that was almost a dream result until he caught the jaw of the middle pocket. It looked like he was even going to land on the ball at the bottom of the table. It's not a bad result though. When you're playing that kind of shot round the angles, you can avoid all the traffic. You're happy enough with that. Let's go play another shot though. This is an example of a kind of shot when you're playing well looks quite easy, but when you're not, these kind of shots where you're slightly cutting back at that half ball angle can find you out. Never expected Shane to miss that though, the way he's been cueing so far in this match.
In an ideal world, he'd just like to pop through that gap of those two yellows. But I think you might dig a little bit deeper. Just come above them. Very good control there. Would have been risky to go through the gap. Left himself cushed up, which is a bit of a drag for Shane. He'd rather have a bit more of the cue ball to aim at. So he's going to have to push the cue ball through here and come off the bottom rail. Possibly push up the cue ball to try and play the black up in the top right.
Well, it's been cueing well so far, but he's going to need another one here.
I think he's looking at the cut into the middle. Cut left-hand middle, I think. He is. Well, well, well. Weren't expecting that. He hit that very thin though. I mean, he probably hit it thinner than he actually wanted to. Yeah, he's not happy with that. As Ian Alley goes for a toilet break.
Well, you felt that Ian Alley needed some kind of gift from Shane to get himself into the match. You were assuming it might have been more in the nature of a dry break or something like that. You take another look there. I mean, he actually played a good shot to cut it in. It was wafer thin. When it is so thin, it's very hard to control the path of the cue ball.
There's Amy Beecham. 3-1 down to Danielle Randall. I have to say, Danielle played very well at the British Open the other week. And that was her first major tournament back. Gave that a good run. Didn't quite get there. I think she was a semi-finalist. But she had some good wins under her belt.
Yeah, it's been a lively pace as well, this match. While we've been away, they've completed the first few frames. 4 frames played now. We're going to be bringing live coverage of all the rest of the Women's Pro Series event. So we've got the 2 semi-finals back-to-back on the YouTube table.
Yeah, it's a colossal lineup, isn't it?
With great players in action. And over here on Ultimate Pool TV, we'll be bringing you the latest final later on. Got the 2 Pro Series semis first and the Challenger final, and then after that, ladies final followed by the Pro Series final.
Well, that second ladies semi-final is after this. Kirsty Lee Davis against Marion Jude from France. What a match that is. That's a proper blockbuster.
Yeah, it feels like there's loads of players coming into form. I mean, Marion's obviously been in form for a while, since her world title a year and a bit ago. Kirsty Lee had a great last season. She was one of the form players of 2024 on the Women's Pro Series. So, back in the arena, Shane Thompson breaks off in frame 6 and has to put the disappointment of that last frame behind him, which is a whole lot easier to do when you're all 1 up in the match. No golden break, so that 8 ball will be respotted by the referee.
You go and say that, and I'm telling you now, of a day and a half's worth of commentary on this main table, there's been loads of them. And when you have it actually in the tournament, you obviously do get them, but I can't believe how many there's been.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I feel like I've said that a number of times, that rule isn't in play. But yes, there have been a lot when the 8 ball has gone down. So you've got a number of different formats across the Ultimate Pool season. The quicker formats that we see in the Monday night events where we have the golden break. The Pro Series intending to be a slightly purer form of pool. That's why we're playing the longer races to 8. It's all Shane Thompson. I mean, it's 4-1. That was obviously Shane's mistake, but we're just not seeing much of Ian at the table right now.
Well, he has the angle here. There's Shane. Just kicking in. Well, I thought he was going to kick into the red and the yellow. Surely he tried to do that, didn't he?
Well, unless he thinks he can cut the red below the 2 yellows to the other corner, but yes, I'm with you.
Because if he played into it anyway, even if he didn't get on that ball, he'd have still been on the other red in the middle. I mean, this is a very, very tough shot. Made that look easy.
Yeah, that's the thing. When he's playing like this, he's just such a good cueist.
Maybe he did play for it there. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I think he's hitting the ball so well that his thinking is he just doesn't want any variability. He's just going to stroke the balls in from where they lie, not introduce any chance into it. You've got to be playing well though to pot a ball like that last one.
Just getting the mini butt, because he's going to be stretching across the table. Gives his cue a little bit of extra length, so he's not having to stretch. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, even that's made to look very easy, but you've got to get hold of the cue ball to make the angle around those 2 cushions. Just have to dig into it to make that angle. Just makes it even simpler to get prime position.
Yeah, and if you want to criticise Shane, he should be 6-0 up.
Yeah, he should. I mean, I suppose 5-1 is sort of the correct scoreline, and if Ian hadn't made the mistake he made, it would be that. But that mistake having been made, it could so easily have been 6-0. The only foothold Ian has in the match is that in off the black from Shane Thompson. Right now, it's going to feel very frustrating for Ian because he just hasn't had a chance to show what he can do out there. It's all been one-way traffic. It's going to be a good weekend either way for Ian. He's beaten some good players. Dom Cooney, Ryan Pisani, Luke Gilbert and Tom Cousins en route to this semi-final, so plenty of positives to take, but nobody likes to come up short in a semi-final.
Well, Ian Alley put a bit of stick into that break, I can tell you. The old shoulder lunge went into that one. Part frustration, part trying to make sure he gets the ball and actually gets to have a go at these balls.
Yeah, I mean, he just wants to have a go, doesn't he? That's the key thing right now. He may well go on to lose the match, but he doesn't want to be frozen out without having any chances.
But we've seen Ian Alley look dead and buried against the number one player earlier today. 6-3 down. So he's trailing by 3. Okay, he's trailing by 4 in this one. But this should be done and dusted. So this will bring it back to 5-2. So you cannot write Ian Alley off.
No, I do think of all the players, he's one of those ones that he's just not that bothered by what's gone before. He's just very good at dusting himself down, get on with the game. You see here, he's not showing any ill effects of the scoreline. If you just watch that frame, you'd have no idea that he was behind in the match. It will happen very quickly as well. 5-2 now to Shane Thompson. Just past the halfway point of the match clock, just under 25 minutes remaining. Should be plenty of time for these guys to get the match sorted out, the standard they're playing to. Let's have a little look out in the arena, get over to see Ricky Jones in action. Matt Cook in the second of the 2 Pro Series events. 2 events obviously overlapping slightly because we've got to get this one down to a final tomorrow night, so action in the second Pro event started this afternoon. It's been testament to the strength in depth that it's very likely that we'll see a different last 4 and last 8 in that second event. In the last few events we haven't seen that many people doubling up. So famously a season or 2 ago, Tom Cousins went back to back in the same weekend, beating Stephen Dempsey both times in the final. It's a bit of an outlier, that one, though. It's so hard to have back-to-back runs, the strength of this field. So straight back at it for Shane. 5-2 is one of those leads that's a nice lead, but it doesn't take long for it to disappear. He just wants to get the full frame lead open again if he can.
I was to say, it was 5-1.
Obviously at a different level of pool, 5-2 can sound quite big, but these top pros where so much of it's done in one visit, the match can really swing around just based on who's getting the chances off the break. It's a difficult dilemma in career terms for Shane Thompson, whether to focus just on English 8-ball pool, which obviously at his best he's one of the best, if not the best in the world. He got up to the number 1 spot first season of Ultimate Pool. And does he take advantage of the other chances offered to him? He's going over, as are you, to the US in a week or two's time for the next Ultimate Pool USA event. It's kind of hard not to take those chances when you get given them, isn't it, in his shoes? But at the same time, can end up being a distraction from the core game. I think probably not so much in terms of the travelling and the logistics, but more just in terms of you're playing with slightly different equipment. When you're a player that's as dependent on good timing as Shane is, it can just mess your timing up a little bit. Either way, right now he seems to have his cue action and timing exactly where he wants it.
Yeah, clinical stuff once again from Shane. Just drops this yellow in. He's moving ever closer to that final.
Yeah, this has been good stuff once again in this frame. Real quality of play on display here. 6-2 it is, 3/4 of the way to that winning line. That Ricky Jones match we dipped in on as one of 3 other Pro Series 2 matches going on the outside arena tables. Vivek Mack, the conqueror of Tom Cousins in that massive win for him earlier. He's back in action, 4-2 up against Callum Singleton. Eddie Barker currently held at 2-all against Ryan Pisani. And in that match we were looking at, Ricky Jones now 2-1 to the good against Matt Kirk. Plenty more Pro Series 2 action underway. That's at the last 32 stage. Those are the first 3 of the last 32 matches. We will be playing the entire of the last 32 of that event before we finish for the night today, and then we'll be coming back tomorrow morning, kicking off at 11 o'clock tomorrow with the last 16 onwards of that second Pro Series event. Shane Thompson has still got a match, as has Ian Ali. They're both through to the last 32, so pretty much as soon as they're finished with this match, Ian Ali is going to be back out there against Dave McQuillan. Shane Thompson's got Christophe Lambert for company. Ian Ali is going to be hoping that that isn't for a while though, because he wants to prolong this match for as long as he can and get himself back into it.
Another look at Ian's break. Shane Thompson sat there ready to throw the towel in, look.
Yeah, I think Ian Ali would welcome that right now, because Shane is looking rather a dominant force. Quite warm out there now in the arena, because the room is getting quite full. It's not a super hot day outside, although it's a beautiful sunny one, but the number of spectators is mounting as we near the business end of this tournament. This is a good chance for Ian. Got to take these kind of chances when they're offered to you. Pretty good angle here. Just going over to the left hand side of the table for the remaining couple of balls, just able to find his way nicely through that gap. Testament to how he's playing. Actually, when you're finding gaps like that, although you can say it's an easy gap to find your way through, but if you're not playing well, you don't quite judge that kind of shot, whereas this clearance has been pretty fluent the whole way through from Ian. Still 3 behind, but at least he's keeping sight of Shane. 6-3 now to the man on the right of your screen.
Well, this is where Ian Ali started against Tom Cousins at 6-3 down, but At the moment, Shane won't mind too much trading frames with Ian Alley. Trades 2 more each, he's home. As long as Shane's break doesn't dry up, I feel if he's making balls, which he has been, and he's just running the racks up because his position's been incredible. So I think for Ian Alley to get back in this, it's going to need Shane's breaks to start going dry.
He's always in the conversation, isn't he, for one of the best breaks in the game, Shane Thompson. It's always just kind of the same measured style, just seems to cue smoothly, get the power on without having to throw his body into it. All about timing and effortless power, like so much of his game. Half an hour played, 19:47 left on the match clock. Not really looking like a major factor right now. We have a look at Shane's break. Well, not quite as straight as usual, just veered a little bit off to the side, but still got plenty of power into it. Flirting with the top corner pocket there, but never really in danger. It's not a perfect layout, this one. It's a bit more to do than the last couple of clearances we've seen. Yellows are going to be his choice, but he's got those 2 balls just in slight no man's land on the bottom cushion. Just coming around to have a look at those now. Like all top players, wants to go after that kind of problem early on. If he concludes he can't get on those balls, he's just going to play a kind of containing shot, get them open, try not to leave in too much of a shot. That's really nicely executed.
Yeah, he's in control of this frame at the moment, Shane Thompson. Ian Alley with it all to do.
That was actually a really good shot. Not just the fact that he played a nice containing shot, but promoted both of his balls. But you have to play a good quality containing shot if you want to contain Ian, because that's how good a potter he can be. Nothing really open for him in defence, so decided he was just going to have to go for something, try and move the balls around a bit, make something happen. Well, needs to make something happen, and he has made it happen at the top of the table.
Yeah, that yellow that's coming down at the bottom there has stopped the double. What he could play is the red on the side rail. He could play a cross double. Double it into the right-hand centre, scream the cue ball down into this zone down here and try and kick that red out. I mean, we are talking very elaborate shots, but I think they've called for at this moment in the match for Ian. Possibly play it now then. So we'll be looking now. Play the double with the red. Cue ball then over into this pack. My word, he's very unlucky there. He's made the double 100 mile an hour. That cue ball was going down in that direction, but the black ball has just stopped it. Only shot now. Well, I say the only shot. There's a couple. What if he's looking at trying to hit this red into the yellow? The yellow hits that side rail and then comes back and cannons the red back towards the pocket where his hand is. That's what he tried.
Yeah, it was pretty much all that was open to him, wasn't it? Not great though where it's finished up. It was never a great chance that, but he got so far through it. If he could just have manufactured that last moment of magic, that could have been big in the context of the match. This is exactly the kind of position Shane wants. He's already got a comfortable 3-frame cushion. His opponent now with just 1 ball left in a pretty dead situation knows that he can go for these. First and foremost, obviously in a semi-final, it's just winning and getting through to the final. There's also some pride in performance though. You want to send out a statement message. Shane would like to get this match wrapped up as quickly as possible. Keep the scoreline fairly one-sided. It's going to be a busy evening for whoever makes it through, because they've got to finish this match, then go and play their last 32 match in event 2, and then they'll be back on the last match of the night, the Pro Series final. Nicely judged. The only thing that could have gone wrong there would have been to push the yellow past the red, but playing it in such a way that was never on the cards.
Yeah, 2 balls away from being on the hill, Shane Thompson. He's going to pull the cue ball away from that red. See the black. Perfectly straight now into this centre pocket. 7-3. And Shane is on fire out there.
This has been inch perfect the whole way through. Very high quality clearance. Very high quality series of clearances throughout the match. And 7-3 is 1 foot in tonight's final. He's got to win 1 of the remaining 5 frames. Lovely position to be in, because you know that you're likely to get some chances across those frames. Let's have a little look out on the outside arena table, where Danielle Randall's 4-2 to the good against Amy Beecham.
Amy's got one back. It was 4-1. Well, a little bit of safety battle going on there between our 2 top women players.
So rather a bleak picture here for Ian. Got to get all the remaining frames in this match won. Good start though. Can only take it 1 at a time. Done the important thing, which is to get a ball off his first break. Hit that really well. Look just how straight that ball's come back down the table. In a way, the pressure kind of dissipates for a while when you're this far behind. You're not really yet thinking about the comeback. You just have to take it 1 chance at a time.
That's what I was saying earlier about Shane. As long as he gets his balls off the break, he's happy trading frames. Only wants 1 more now, so 1 mistake at all from Ian Alley will seal his fate. And have we just seen it? I think if he can get past that black ball to the one in the middle, I think he might have to swerve that slightly.
Yeah, you didn't really see that mistake coming, did you? He's going to have to swerve, and he's going to have to swerve it quite a lot, judging by how much he's elevating the cue. I mean, it was never
Great shot.
going to be a major problem, but you don't really want to leave yourself that kind of shot to have to play in the middle of the clearance. He's been very consistent. I mean, he made that mistake early on, but actually since then Ian hasn't done a whole lot wrong. He just hasn't had many chances. The ones he has had, he's dealt with in a perfectly acceptable manner.
Great control there from Ian Alley. Screwed through the gap with a load of left-hand side. It's on the last red. Cue ball just comes straight down the table. Alley still going. Will not give in. Here goes the black. It's 7-4. Shane Thompson will be up next, so to break off, just requiring 1 frame for a place in the final.
It's been a good quality of play this from both of the players. Ultimately, that failure to get the scores to 1-1 early on was what cost Ian. Maybe it wouldn't have made any difference. Shane looks to have been in such good form that perhaps he would have run away with it anyway. We'll never really know the outcome to that, but since then, both of them have played good stuff. Shane has front run well, but Ian has not been afraid to take the chances on the rare occasions they have been presented to him. Going to need something from Shane. Going to need an in-off or a dry break really here. Shane, meanwhile, knows that this is the first of 2 breaks he's going to have to close out this match. And like any prolific winner, wants to get it done as soon as he can. It is dry though, and that's what Ian was hoping for.
Well, this is what happened to Tom Cousins. All of a sudden his brake went dry and he went in off one as well. Completely out of nowhere. And Ian Alley pounced like an uncaged tiger. Being freed for the very first time.
He's going to want to channel it exactly that now. Nice-ish position this. And 7-5 with his break. I'm not suggesting it's going to be an easy comeback by any means, but...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, Mike. You look at it and you think Shane's just sauntering towards the final. Well, we've said before how quick these matches turn.
It's going to be quick-paced if there is a comeback, because we are heading towards that last 10 minutes of the match. So seeing the shorter shot clock fairly soon. This has been sequenced together very nicely. Screw back, drop onto the ball down the left-hand rail. Absolutely perfect. Very high quality of attacking pool from both of these players. As you'd expect, we've got a high quality 64-man field, and these are 4 players, or 2 of the 4 players that have made the semi-finals. So, in no time at all, 7-5. Just giving Shane something to think about. He did have that 5-frame cushion. Just 3 now. Ian will have 2 of those 3 breaks. Meanwhile, over in the other game we've been keeping an eye on, Amy Beecham's got another one back, 4-3 now. Playing race to 7, so still a little way to go in that match. If you do want to watch that match live, that's over on the Ultimate Pool YouTube channel. On Ultimate Pool TV, we'll be bringing the full run of finals tonight. One more semi-final to come after this, followed up by the Challenger 1 final, the latest Pro final, and then the big showpiece final. One of these gentlemen will be booking their spot. Right now it looks like Shane Thompson, but Ian Alley's not out of it yet.
No, and he's got a great chance on yellows as well. When you first look at this break, you don't think he's got an easy ball, but he has. He's got a long yellow into the bottom right-hand corner. Big bag. Oh, he's played that really well. This frame's over. This is 7-6.
I kind of agree with you, Tony, although we've jinxed him once in this match, so I feel duty-bound not to do it a second time.
No, it's like a rerun of the Cousins match. Ian Alley suddenly just picked up his pace, ran through the balls, and in no time, that match went from 6-3 to 6 each.
Ian will remember that as well. It's got to be a positive sign for him.
Well, at 7-3, it didn't have the immediate attention of Ali. Now you look at the skip in his step now. He knows this is 7-6, 1 behind. And I'll tell you what happened last time when it was Cousins. Cousins then broke and went in off, and it'll be Shane's break next. Surely lightning cannot strike twice.
Wow, good stuff this from Ian Alley. No time at all. 7-6. And what was at one stage a 5-frame lead, or a 4-frame lead, 5 frames in which to get over the winning line, is seriously eroded now for Shane. It's potentially only going to have one more chance. It's going to be 1 break each, obviously, in the last 2 frames. Shane to break first. I think Shane is a player that this will play on his mind a bit. He's an excellent match play specialist. He knows how to deal with it, but it's not like it's gone unnoticed just how quickly this comeback is happening.
Yeah, he's now looking in his wing mirror and can see Ian Alley right on his rear bumper, trying to do a Cold Trickle Days of Thunder slingshot in the last lap and come past him.
It is one of the worst feelings in sport, isn't it, when you've had a big lead and somebody comes back at you. It's a lot harder to deal with than being the one behind that's doing the chasing somehow. Still, let's not over-dramatise it. He's not done a lot wrong, bar the dry break. Let's see what he can do here. Shane Thompson, frame 14.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. For a second I thought he was going dry. Look at Ian Alley's face. He did as well. He thought He was probably half out of his seat.
Yeah, the balls aren't bad. They're not great, but the reds are pretty well situated. Ian was fancying a go at those.
Yeah, we're down to the 15 seconds of shot now as well. So that's a bit more jeopardy on it.
Red ball's in play.
What Shane is well aware of is that you don't always get multiple chances to close out matches. This is a good chance. He knows he needs to take it.
Yeah, he's got that angle now. So I think just punch behind the yellow, just try and kick into that red and dribble it over the middle. Well, a couple of choices here. He could play a plant all the way down with all these reds down the rail, but he's going to go into the middle. So he's still got the tricky red. Going to have to try and play and kick it out, I think.
Yeah, that's Ian's one lifeline here, isn't it? Not guaranteed to turn out nice.
I'll tell you what, that hasn't turned out nice.
The only good thing from Shane's point of view is that he's landed on the other ball and he's landed on it with an angle to have a second crack at the disturb.
Oh, no, Shane. And the thing is with this match, Mark, and I think you'll agree, that we've just watched this and it just feels like it's been all Shane Thompson, but Ian Alley's right behind him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I don't mean in the sense that he's not been a good player, but it's hard to understand how Ian is at 6 because it does feel like we've been watching so much of Shane.
It's like he's crept up unnoticed, but he hasn't. And this was the same thing when he played Tom Cousins earlier today.
I think part of it is that it's happened quickly. He's been very attacking and he's gone about it very fast.
At the end of the match, in the last few frames, and Shane's probably thinking, hang on a minute, wasn't I out of sight at some point? It was 5-1.
Yeah, I mean, at one point it just felt like a victory lap, didn't it? It felt like Ian was only going to get the frame that Shane had gifted him. And this is where the ability to deal with pressure is so valuable for Ian.
But the thing is as well, Ian Alley levelled the match against Cousins and then broke and finished at 7-all. It's going to be Alley's break. It's lightning striking twice in the same day, in the same arena.
We've been treated to some great quality pool, haven't we, today? That Aaron Davis match that went to the 6 red was phenomenal drama. This one looks like it's not going to be far behind.
It's just a perfect racehorse. Just measured his race completely correctly. When to get the whip out, when to actually run for home. And there, the fist bump, we had the same fist bump from earlier. It's 7 each in Ian Alley. Well, the comeback king so far today.
This is just remarkable stuff, isn't it? I mean, at one point he was just never in this match, and then he's just run up on Shane at the death. It's going to be Ian's break. I mean, surely he couldn't close it out with a break and clearance kiddie. That would be so tough for Shane to deal with. He did have a chance though. He's aware that he had that one chance in open play in that last frame. What a tough skill though. When you've got a 4-frame cushion, you're thinking you might have more than one chance to close out the match.
It's unbelievable. I mean, he put Top Cat back in his dustbin. He's about to put the Safecracker back in his safe and jumble up the code.
Oh, and he's potted a ball. He's potted 2 balls. And the key ball's safe. And these aren't a bad layout.
And he's got a couple of fans in the crowd there. The come-on-ins that you've just heard there from the arena. Balls are available. The only thing with the Cousins match, he had a minute and 30 on that one, or a minute and 20, I think. So he's got plenty of time here, even though it is 15 seconds a shot.
He's always got one of the best crowds in pool. In his money matches, he's always got a load of supporters. Different atmosphere in this, but popular player nonetheless.
Purvis here just screwed back just a little bit. Nothing too much. That's it. This is incredible stuff.
Some matches you just feel like it's been one-sided without the player doing much wrong, and you can sort of see a comeback. But this one, it was just so hard to imagine a comeback from where he was.
Shane Thompson, I'm telling you, he will be bemused and dazed sat there because he will not know what happened. Where did this come from? Because I don't know where it's come from, and it's done it twice today. Is in Ali. He snuck up behind his opponent.
We've watched every ball of this match, and it's still hard to tell where it's come from.
Fabulous stuff from Ian Ali. What a performance. Ian Ali, take a bow.
That is one of the most remarkable comebacks we've seen in Ultimate Pool. And what's even more remarkable is the fact that he's done it twice today. First against Tom Cousins and then against Shane Thompson. 5-1 down, 6-2 down. Out of absolutely nowhere, Ian Ali has battled and battled and battled, and he's battled so quickly, he just raced his way back into that. Shane Thompson, as he leaves the arena, I mean, what can he say? He was all over him in that match. He was playing so well, it looked like there was no way he could lose it.